As Operation Grand Heist does come to an end, we are going to have a brand new event called Strike from the Shadows. So the new event will start on April 30th for PlayStation 4 and May 7th for Xbox and PC. And with Operation Grand Heist coming to an end, you're going to want to make sure you reach tier 100 if you're looking to get that Switchblade SMG. And in case you miss out, it's not yet confirmed, but more than likely I have that feeling that they're just going to put them in reserves as MK2 variants for both the Rampage and the Switchblade. So before we jump into all the new stuff coming in Tuesday, let's go ahead and talk about this trailer. So it looks like Spectre, a brand new special, is going to be coming to Call of Duty. This looks like Blackout, that he's planning C4 on the Hydro Dam. So the Blackout map is probably going to change. He throws his smoke, goes and chops everyone up, whether that's some kind of blade or a katana or whatever the case is. That could allude to a DLC weapon. We'll kind of just have to find out. You can see as he walks, you can see the edge of the blade, and then he goes ahead and plants his C4. And I know a lot of people are talking about C4 being usable in the game. I honestly don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to actually go a different route, and I think they're just going to stick to kind of how it worked in Black Ops 3, where he had that little blade, he could actually chop people up. He also cloaks, so maybe that smoke is kind of the offset of that, and he probably won't be able to cloak in this. So we'll kind of have to see how it plays out. A lot going on there. The katana could possibly be a DLC weapon. There's a ton of other DLC weapons that I expect for them to add in this event. So with that, let's go ahead and transition to what we can expect from this event. Obviously, they're going to be flooding the reserves with a bunch of brand new items. So if you already have all the items from the current event that you already want, I would just sit on those reserves until the brand new event starts so you can actually have a chance at those new items as soon as the event goes live. I already have like 150 reserves saved up and I have every item in the game. So as long as they add around 50 items or less, I'm pretty much guaranteed every item that comes in that new reserves. And that's if I get the worst RNG possible and every item I pick is a duplicate. So I'm going to do an opening on that. So if you guys want to check that out as soon as the event goes live, I will have it posted on the channel, so make sure you do subscribe with notifications on so you'll be able to find your way back. So a few items that I expect to see in the reserves is an MK2 version of the Switchblade and the Rampage, as well as a few other MK2 variants of weapons that we currently have in the game that do not have MK2 variants. Hopefully not going the route where everything's going to be like the Swordfish and we actually have to pay real money for, because that could get a little frustrating. I also think it would be pretty awesome if they added like 4 or 5 new Mastercrafts in there, along with about 10 different reactive camos, just to give it a little bit more variety. I know it's a lot to ask for, but we've had a ton of this type of content completely free in previous Call of Duties. So another thing we talked about last week that we can expect from this new update is probably the 1.17 update. The one that everyone's been hoping for and talking about is finally going to be coming out. They're going to have some weapon balancing changes. And in terms of balancing, I know I gave my opinions on the buffs when it came to the SMG video that I put out, where I went through each individual SMG and talked about how they could potentially buff them. But I didn't really talk about any of the nerfs that I expect to see. So in addition to all those buffs, I'd like to see a few nerfs handed out to a few particular weapons. And that is the Rampart, the Auger DMR, and the Titan. I know they keep buffing the Rampart because they want it to be a part of the competitive meta. But at the end of the day, they're really ruining public matches by continually upgrading that weapon. As far as the tactical rifles go, I think they can nerf it slightly. They can almost revert the Auger DMR back to where it was. And when it comes to the Titan, I think they just need to add a ton more recoil. It is just way too easy to use, especially when people slap on that thermal sight. FMJ1, FMJ2, they shoot down pretty much all the streaks instantly. They can shoot you through double walls, metal. It doesn't matter. It is completely broken. They just need to add a ton of recoil, and that is the way I think they could balance it. And overall, I think that would allow people to shift away from that meta and maybe even start using the Hades or the VKM, which are both great LMGs as well. So the next thing that we can expect is to actually get a brand new Twitch Prime skin. And you get Twitch Prime by linking your Amazon Prime with your Twitch account, so you can actually link that with your Call of Duty account, and then you get a free skin. And just a heads up, since I do stream over on Twitch, a link will be down in the description. If you want to use your Twitch Prime over on my account, feel free to do so. Just click that link. Check to see if you have a Twitch Prime available. And if you don't use it on me, that's cool too. Just make sure you use it on someone, because that's just $5 a month that just sits there and Twitch gets to keep. So now let's go ahead and talk about DLC weapons. Everyone's kind of excited about having new content in terms of DLC weapons, because that's something you can actually use in every single match. So the only DLC weapon that is 100% confirmed is one that was supposed to be added in Operation Grand Heist, and that is the sniper rifle called the Ruger Mini 14. So now the rest of the DLC, there's actually two different categories in my opinion: what I expect to see and then what I hope to see. What I expect to see is them take all those weapons that are currently in Blackout that are not currently available in multiplayer and just port them over so that everyone is able to use them in multiplayer. Either gain them through tiers, supply drops, whatever the case is, but make them available in multiplayer. And that would be 4 additional weapons. We'd have the Galil, the MP40, the Zweihander, and the Essex Model 07. So those are some easy ones that they could just add in that are already in the game, maybe balance them a little bit differently to make sure they fit the multiplayer meta. And the few other weapons that I'd like to see based on how they handled DLC weapons in the past are probably the Peacekeeper, whether they do it like Black Ops 3 where it was a rifle, or they do it like Black Ops 2 where it was an SMG. Regardless, the weapon is a fan favorite and I think a lot of people would really enjoy using it. I'd also like to potentially see an M16. I'm not sure how it would fit in because the ABR is already a 3-round burst, so I'm not sure it would work that well, but at least we'd have the opportunity to kind of mix and match and just have variety in the game. Even if stuff's reskinned, I don't think people would be upset. Just as long as we get variety, it's better to have something than nothing. Another cool option, which I think a lot of people would be a fan of, is adding the Stoner as an LMG or Stoner type weapon and bringing that back from Black Ops 1, because I don't really think they have an LMG in this game that kind of fits that profile. A little bit lower ammo capacity, kind of performs like a rifle, but it's still an LMG. They really don't have that in this game. And if they want to go ahead and play off Spectre a little bit further, they can actually add in a katana as a melee weapon. So those are just a few of my ideas about the DLC weapons that they could potentially add. What are your guys' thoughts? And are there any DLC weapons that you'd like to see added to Black Ops 4? And one thing I'll touch on since I am talking about DLC weapons is that they need to add more operator mods. There were 18 operator mods at the start of the game right at launch, and there are currently 18 operator mods in the game. And I think one of the biggest issues with this one is there's not enough awareness around this topic. I don't really see other YouTubers talk about operator mods unless they're doing a best class setup on a specific operator mod, but there could be a ton of variety added in the game. Whether it's an operator mod for the combat knife that makes it a ballistic knife, and they could even go the lazy route of just copying and pasting the operator mods that are already in the game to other weapons. Imagine having dual wield on the Cap 45, or any of the other pistols. So for that one, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So the next thing we can go ahead and talk about is potential new modes. And the only mode that they've really confirmed is Prop Hunt. And for whatever reason, people love Prop Hunt. I guess it's more of a casual thing, just like Infected or whatever the case is. Hopefully it's executed well, because I think when it is, it could be a lot of fun. And when it's not, it gets kind of stale really quick. There are a few other modes that I expect to see. Capture the Flag, Demolition based off the explosives that we saw in that initial trailer. Another couple modes I'd like to see added to the game are potentially a mode that's very similar to Uplink or Gridiron, and then obviously the big one that I think is a fan favorite, which is Ground War. I think there are a ton of the maps that could play very well 9 versus 9 if they were to introduce Ground War. They just have to do the right objective game modes to make it play out well. So again, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on that particular topic. What other modes are you looking for that haven't been introduced into Black Ops 4 just yet? And also, do you think Ground War would work? Because obviously special would be a little bit wonky. Maybe there'd be 3 of one type of specialist, which would be a little bit out of hand. If you have 3 Torques, 3 Zeros, and 3 Nomads, or whatever the case is, could get pretty annoying. So I'm not sure exactly how it would work with specialists, but I'd definitely still be interested in trying it out because I have had a lot of fun playing Ground War in the past. Hopefully it doesn't become a sniper fest like it did in World War II, but we won't know until we try. So it also sounds like they're going to be introducing 3 new DLC maps as they do with every operation as part of the Black Ops Pass. And personally, I haven't really liked a single map from the Black Ops Pass. I feel like all the 6 or 7 maps that we've gotten have all been pretty bad for the most part. They don't really play well. There's all these camping spots. They're either too big, too small. It just doesn't make sense. The maps are just poorly designed in my opinion. I know they put a lot of effort into it, or at least I hope they do. But at the end of the day, I've never really had fun with any of the DLC maps. And that's because even the base maps in the game aren't all that great. The ones that most people kind of lean towards are the classic ones. And it seems that like 99% of the time that they pop up in the rotation, if you see Jungle, Slums, Firing Range, Nuketown, or Summit, you're going to end up playing those maps because that's what it seems people enjoy. When it comes up a DLC map, people are voting for something else. And I've actually gotten to the point where even if I feel like I have a pretty decent lobby, if a DLC map pops up, I just leave out of that lobby. I don't even attempt to stay in there. I don't even care if the players are good or bad. It doesn't even matter to me because the maps are so poorly designed. Some of the issues I have with them is most of them are just a little too big. I think if you play Madagascar or Casino, you're going to have trouble finding people in 5v5 lobby. And the other big issue is that half the streaks don't work on the maps. And what I mean by that is if you're going to use an attack chopper, a Hellstorm, a Lightning Strike, there's got to be enough open area so you can actually hit people. There's so many of these new maps where you join in, you're trying to call in a Hellstorm, you get 1 kill. And that just tells me their priorities are off. They're all about trying to protect the brand new players than actually make a map that flows really well. That's just my opinion. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. Appreciate the support. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.